can drink. I don't know if that's what they need the most or if it just so happens that, you know how parents are. They tend to think less of themselves and more of their children. So when we talk to them, that's always what they tell us. It may not really be the case, but in parent speak, I think we can understand that that's very important to them.
And the kinds of relief that's coming in, is it all individuals with trucks? Is it groups? Like I know the JCs were going down there and some other groups. Who is it that's going down primarily with this relief effort?
Well, it's different types of relief. That's an interesting question that you posed, because we've seen different forms of relief coming into the area. Remember those packs we showed you when we were covering the Desert Storm situation?
Right.
Those little bags.
MRIs or whatever.
You got it. It's like a dirty green little bag. It's almost in camouflage.
Yeah, meals ready to eat.
We just ran a package on that. Yes, we saw so that's coming in. But there
we see those, exactly. And the point I was making is, in contrast to those, which I didn't know you'd shown them already, you see the relief coming in almost as if someone had gone into a supermarket with a brown bag and just grabbed whatever they could. I mean, people walking around, which obviously they showed up at a relief shelter that's been set up around here, and they got the supplies that they think are necessary for them, and they're carrying them in a haphazard way, if you will. And then there's the other relief where people are just showing up and being handed individual items out of a truck. If they happen to need baby formula, it's given to them. And so far, the effort is quite coordinated, thanks to the National Guard. When the trucks come in, people tend to scurry to that location, and they want to have first dibs. The National Guard keeps them somewhat orderly, and then they're able to get the supplies and move about their way.
Are they needing clothes yet? I know we're so heavily focusing on food because that is you've got to have nourishment. There's no doubt about it. But I'm wondering if they're starting to need things like that. Even if they have a few things, they're not going to be able to wash and do laundry for a while. How's that holding up?
That's a good question, Kelly. No, I don't think it is at this point. I think that despite the fact that most people lost their homes, they were able to recover, because clothes tends to get stuck to things and it's not really pulled away anywhere. They were able to find, through the course of their own rummaging in their front yard, in their backyard, in their neighbors' yards, they were able to find most of the belongings that were loose, things like their shirts and their sheets, and they're still able to use those for a while, we would say. I wouldn't take that explanation any further than 2 more days, because it's difficult for these people to find a place to clean and wash that stuff, so it might become very difficult for them. But for right now, the primary supply and relief that they need has more to do with baby supplies and water and food than it would clothes.
What about if people have things that they want to bring down? I guess they can just load up a truck or whatever and bring the things that you mentioned down, but there are all kinds of other things that people want to donate: construction supplies, chainsaws, flights to get them out to another area if they want to go, whatever it is. Can they call? Like, is the National Guard prepared to handle phone calls from people?
I understand the National Guard is now trying to put together shelters, the same kind that they used when they went to Desert Storm. And these will be used to house people who right now are sleeping in homes without roofs, as we've told you. The problem is getting these people to this location. If you talk about heavy equipment, it's difficult to bring it down here because there's just so many people who need so much. Where would you begin? Who would you give it to? And why would you choose to give one person the canvas over another person? So it becomes difficult to do that. That's why that type of relief is better managed by the Red Cross and by the National Guard, because they can create shelters which can be used by a whole bunch of people at once, as opposed to sporadic offerings to different people.
I should just let you know that we had a pretty good rainstorm here about 15-20 minutes ago, so our luck may not be holding out as far as it remaining dry. I think that has been probably the kindest thing after what nature did to us that has happened out of this, because a lot of people still don't have what they have left covered. But watch out for that. It may well be headed your way, Rick.
Thank you, Kelly. We just got one of those a little while ago, and as you can see, we got a little bit wet when we went on that excursion that we took, and that's one of the reasons that we did that. We were thinking to ourselves as we saw the first raindrops fall, as bad as things are for these people right now, this rain is only going to make things worse, and especially when you take into perspective that most of them, as we've said over and over again, have no ceilings and have no roofs in their homes. So it had to be a difficult situation. We weren't able to go out far enough into the areas that are really devastated, the trailer homes and some of those wood frame homes, because we're in the downtown sector right now. Tomorrow morning, we certainly hope to do just that. And as I had mentioned in one of my earlier reports, we have heard that there is a location. It's a makeshift trailer park, if you will, actually more a migrant camp, that's further down close to the Everglades entrance. Sally, you're familiar with that area.
Right.
And we know it's there. We don't know if anyone's checked on it. We don't know what the condition is of the people there. And because it's too dark now, we can't go out and check. But first thing in the morning, we're going to head out there if we can get through and take some relief to those people. And more importantly, perhaps, find out what their condition is right now.
Rick, why don't more of these people go in the shelters if they're living in homes with no roofs? And we just talked to the people at the Red Cross, as a matter of fact, and I asked particularly about the homestead shelter, and they say they have plenty of room there.
Well, it's very easy to answer that question. They are very concerned about what they do have left. And beyond that, obviously they don't want people coming in and stealing or looting or taking anything that they have left. But beyond that, I think there's a certain emotional attachment that takes place when something like this happens. You know, we have a saying that a lot of Cubans always say in Spanish, and that is, your home is your home is your home. It's hard emotionally to separate yourself from that, to just walk away and go somewhere else and call something else your home. It's difficult to do that. And for some people, gradually, they're able to do that. We talked to the gentleman earlier who says, I'm leaving, I'm going to Alabama, and I probably will never come back. And you could see in his eyes and speaking through his heart that he's going to miss this place because this is where he's been the most part of his life, and it's hard to walk away.
Yeah, it really is. And right now, you need the things around you that are familiar, no matter how devastated they may be at this particular point.
Well, it's a tough situation, and there really, there aren't very many answers to try and solve it at this point. Maybe some point they'll have to go to a shelter because you can't survive in a situation like that for very long.
It's going to be several weeks.
This is a new situation. We're not even into it a week, and I just keep thinking what's going to happen on down the road.
Absolutely. Well, I know you guys are concerned about that migrant camp that you're talking about. Carlos had said earlier that they were getting some indications that they were worried about even loss of life still there. So let us know what you find out.
That's one of the most interesting parts of this whole story. You know, we tend to block geography off into main areas. You know, we've, in our business and in the business of disseminating information, we tend to call things South Dade or North Dade or Northwest Dade and Homestead. But, you know, our community is made up of many small communities. And oftentimes those places don't get the attention, not because anyone's trying to avoid them, but oftentimes because we just don't know about them. We just tend to not pay as much attention to a place that perhaps hasn't been in the limelight as much. And we tend to incorporate them. You know, we mentioned Leisure City. We haven't talked a lot about Leisure City because we tend to incorporate Leisure City as a part of Homestead. Well, it's really not a part of Homestead. It's east of Homestead on the other side. And, you know, the people there have come to us and said, you know, we're having a tough time too. Sally, you mentioned earlier, you did an interview with a gentleman from Gould's, and you mentioned that these people were feeling that somehow enough relief wasn't coming to them. I don't think it's anything that anyone's trying to avoid any specific community. I think it's just sometimes for the sake of blocking things off with one general name, we have a tendency to say South Dade or Homestead.
Well, we're more familiar with certain areas than we are with others, and so they jump to mind very quickly.
What was that blue flash, Rick? Do you know? We just saw it as you were talking.
Yeah, the police have just shown up here on the corner, and they're creating another checkpoint now. The checkpoints are moving in closer to the city now so they can control this district here, because you have to remember that the area we are is like the old downtown sector, and there are storefronts here that have no fronts. So the clothes is almost hanging out on the sidewalk. There's, you know, appliance stores, and they want to have a real good handle on these places. So they're moving their checkpoints a little further in. And as I mentioned earlier, their checkpoints are very colorful because they'll have 3, 4, 5 cruisers and an ambulance with the lights all going to let everyone know I guess the angle is visibility. They want everyone to know that they're here and that their presence is going to stay there throughout the course of the night until day breaks tomorrow.
You know, that area is under a curfew, particularly now at 7 o'clock. For a while, it was under a 24-hour curfew. I'm not sure if it is still. I'm curious, if people are coming down with supplies, they're obviously letting them through the curfew or through the lines, breaking the 24-hour curfew at least. Is there any requirements as to what can get through with this 24-hour curfew, Rick?
Yeah, they're pretty much using a common sense approach, Sally. They know who's coming in with relief because you can point to the back of the truck and say, well, you know, there it is. I have this much water and I have this. However, they are asking people if we can somehow dissuade them from moving in this direction after night has fallen. Now, the curfew here is 11 to 7, which gives them a little bit more time. So there's a little bit of leeway now. I would say we have, what, another 35 minutes or so, where they're giving people some leeway to move about. Mostly people who came in, dropped something off, and are now leaving. But beyond 11 o'clock, and certainly as we get closer to midnight, they're going to be a little more stringent in terms of stopping anybody and coming into this locale. You
know, I think this is a big change because early on in this whole thing, they weren't letting anybody violate that 24-hour curfew. Now, we're not speaking about the nighttime one, but if people who had supplies weren't being allowed to get through. I mean, people with carloads of things weren't being allowed to get through. And now, apparently, they are letting people through.
Some of it has to do with the fact that they're getting a little more of the area cleaned up. There's not the danger that there once was. But they've been changing things right and left.
My gut feeling, I think they see a real desperate situation, and I think some of their rules are being relaxed because the human suffering is so great. Am I wrong?
I think you're right, Sally. I mean, I think police officers are human beings, just like the rest of us. And, you know, they're walking around here, you know, doing this in their eyes and getting a little missed when they look at children without baby formula, and it certainly would be very difficult for them to stop a shipment of baby formulas from coming in. I think they themselves have a tough time doing that, all the way up the ranks, from the lieutenants to the captains.
That's why we're seeing this flotilla of relief.
I think you're right.
That they've loosened the stranglehold on getting into that area.
And definitely, and they've got a better handle on the situation now than they probably did the first night, so they know exactly how far they can go.
However, we should warn those folks not to take this the wrong way. You know, the folks here are saying they don't want, let me stretch the analogy if I can, they don't want a Pinto here with a couple of bottles of water coming into the area, because that's a bigger problem than it tries to alleviate. What they want is larger trucks and nothing smaller than a pickup truck loaded with stuff. So if you decide to somehow form a relief outside of what we're doing, because we're, as you know, providing the transportation to bring the supplies down here, if you decide to go it alone, that's okay, but get a bunch of you together, perhaps, to bring a truckload. A bunch of maybe people in your community or something, is at the very least do that, but we still would like to encourage you to use the organization that we have set up for you.
I think that's a very good point.
Whatever it takes, as long as it's getting through.
I think they're trying to discourage sightseers.
And well, they should. Well, they should. Rick, we're going to let you take a little bit of a break now. I know you guys have been working awful hard there, and tell Carlos and Patrick, hey for us.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Sally. We're going to hang in there as much as we can, and we hope to continue bringing you this coverage in this makeshift bureau, as you have. It's a bureau without air conditioning, we might add. Makeshift bureau.
You're toughing it out with the rest of them.
Yeah.
That's right, Sally. We're doing the best we can, but it's not enough, and for us, it's you know, it's a good feeling. Actually, I have to be real honest with you. I feel very good about being down here and being able to do anything I can to help these people, not as a journalist, but as a human being and as a member of South Florida community.
All right. Well, we're glad you're there. All right. Thank you, Rick. And we will check back frequently to see what's going on through his eyes and ears.
No doubt about it. In the meantime, we spoke of Carlos Harrison and Patrick Frazier. Carlos has prepared a story for us on that very thing, the relief that's going on in South Dade. Take a look.
You're finally seeing the relief coming in. You said that you just got your last pack of diapers.
I just got them at the Red Cross last patch.
How'd that make you feel?
Wonderful, happiest thing I've ever felt.
Just a second, give them a little bit of space. Jeff, don't shoot too heavy. It's going to be Where did you weather the storm, and what is your situation now as far as food and water?
There's barely any food or water at all. I mean, unless you had water delivered to your house, it's very hard to find. We were over near Robert Morgan. We came back down, which was awful. We came back down to villages. No one has homes. We're the only ones. And people, my dad works for Turkey Point, and he's going to let people come in and use the house over and over again. And
How old is your baby?
16 months.
How is your baby holding up?
Pretty good. She just doesn't understand not having toys or, TV and stuff. Pretty good. Just the stress. I haven't cried until I got out. When you realize you don't have diapers to sew and hands you sew, you just fall. I mean, there's really nothing out here. I mean, Red Cross is doing the best they can. It's just...
What do you need?
People need, like water, dry milk, diapers for babies is a must, wipes, because if you don't have water, you can't use washcloths. Even can openers, they get pans, but what if people don't have, because if your kitchen's blown away, what do you have? Everything.
I'm pretty desperate.
Awful. I can tell.
You're bringing the food down. What was your first reaction seeing this when you pulled into Homestead?
It's unbelievable. We came down from up North Florida, Lakeland, with trucks with food and water. We'd seen news footage. We had no idea. We had no idea. As we got off the turnpike in Florida City, there were people trying to flag us down. They're living on the sides of the street. We've got trucks, planes, people bringing food from all over the country, trying to get down here.
So we can tell them that the food and the water and things are on the way?
Coming. We've set up a distribution center in Miami at 2005 Northwest 70th Street.
But they're bringing it down here, so the people shouldn't worry about
that distribution center. Also, anyone in the northern areas that have food to give, water, ice. We just had emergency medical crews stop us and tell us they need ice for patients. We're bringing it to that distribution center in Miami. We've gotten 50 trucks donated, and as soon as we have enough to bring it down, we're going to be bringing it all day, every day, for as long as we can. We've got volunteers coming from all over the state of Florida to help.
When you look around you and you see the people living on the side of the road, things like that, what do you say? What do you think?
It's just unbelievable. I don't know what to say. I've seen news footage for the last 2 days, and it doesn't even come close to showing what's happened here.
Already the people are lining up as the trucks are coming in. People have been without food and water for... Excuse me, ma'am, how long have you been without food and water?
For 3 days, but we'll survive. We'll survive. It's just devastating. We don't have anything. We need help. But we're getting...
When you see this arriving...
It's a relief. They know that we need help, and they're thinking about us. That makes us feel a lot better.
Is your mommy? Are you getting some water now? Some food? How have you been doing so far?
We're good, puppy.
You're doing good? You're going to have plenty of water and food now.
Yeah.
The supplies are finally coming in. They're bringing in pillows, blankets, donated clothing, and food. Baby wipes that the people have been asking for down here because, remember, they have no water. There's no way to help. They're bringing it in. A nearly empty warehouse, and the people lined up waiting to see what supplies they can get outside. A little bit of food, a little bit of water. And a city 90% devastated, waiting for relief. Getting hambre. You're hungry.
No tenemos nada.
You have nothing at all. No tienes nada. ¿Cómo han pasado estos niños?
Más o menos lo que nosotros tenemos estamos dándole.
¿Y Whatever you have, you're giving them. Look at the Indians. What do you have left?
Ahorita, pues, de comer que pura tortilla ahí de que estamos haciendo nosotros, lo que comemos no me queda nada. No tenemos ni mandado ni nada.
Do you have any water at all?
Yeah, yo tengo agua. Tenemos agua poquita, pero tenemos.
You have a little bit of water. How are you holding up? What do you think of all of this? What do you think when you see food and water coming in now? Blankets. What do you need?
Food.
You need food. You got water.
Necesitamos que vayan a chequear allá. Nosotros vivimos al dueño. ¿Qué pasa la carrera?
As this woman here is telling me, another thing that they need very much down here is gasoline, because they can't even go to Miami. There's no way to leave for many of these people who want to leave.
With the little gas we got, we're using it to go get food and water. And if we use it go all the way to Miami, we're going to get stranded over there. What about the children down here? We can't go that way. We got to find a place over here where where we can go and get it.
They're bringing in food and water. They may be bringing in gas later. What do you need most right now?
A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. All we got now is hope. A little bit of everything.
How are you doing, man? You've been spending a rough time? Do you need food? Do you need water?
Yeah.
Tell me about how these last few days have been. What have you been thinking and hoping for? Can't tell me. These are the faces of the people affected by Hurricane Andrew. Children who don't understand and worried mothers. The JCs are bringing the supplies in. They say they have 50 trucks just like this one. 50 empty trucks that are waiting at 2005 Northwest 70th Avenue. They have a distribution center. You can go there if you want to donate food. You'll see the JC Aid signs and the people waiting to bring it down. And you'll see over here the people who are waiting for those supplies.
Okay, what you're going to get, again, is a bag of groceries and a gallon jug of water per family, depending on the size of your family. Okay, the larger the family, we'll try to work it out with you. Just be patient. We'll try to get you through as quick as we can.
You said you are with the Cleveland Indians?
I'm with the Cleveland Indians, and I'm volunteering here for the city to handle the food distribution. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to load. Thank God, we've got the JCs coming from all over the state, bringing food in here, as you can see, by the tractor-trailer load. It's going to go into the armory storage area here, and eventually this will become a staging area, and we will distribute through the churches in the Homestead area.
The stadium itself didn't hold up very well. Were you down here for this also?
Yes. The stadium took a pretty good hit, but nothing in comparison to what this community took. And that's really kind of the last thing on our mind right now. We'll get that taken care of eventually.
As you look around and this devastation you've seen here, have you ever seen anything like it? What could you compare it to?
Never. I've never been in, personally, a natural disaster like this before, and there is no description of it. When you look around at the buildings and you look at the numbers of loss of lives, it's incredible. It's like seeing a bad car accident and wondering how anybody ever walked away from it.
Hi, Joey. How's it going?
Sensational. It's only the first day of school and I already got 3 phone numbers.
Now at Target, granola bites and bars. Hot Colors fruit roll-ups, 3 for $5. And great tasting chocolate and vanilla Incredibites, 3 for $5.
You disgust me, Joey. School is the place to develop your mind. We're here to learn, not to flirt. Whoops. Sue me.
At Bennigan's, we'll give you something you can't get anywhere else. Bennigan's extra special treatment, guaranteed. And look what's coming now. Announcing Bennigan's new double-up deal. Our $18 dinner for 2. Share a fried cheese appetizer. From 6 meals, pick 2 like chicken pasta parmesan or chicken teriyaki. And split a brownie bottom pie. The double-up deal. Only $18 for 2 at Bennigan's.
Bennigan's brings more to the table than a great deal.
Channel 7 News coverage of the aftermath of Andrew continues.
It is now 10:40 as our coverage goes on in our 24-hour rotation. We're glad to have you with us, and we hope that we're offering you some valuable information while we're here.
Derek Hayward is standing by. He is at a Southwest Dade mobile home park, and let's see what he has found there. Derek?
Sally, I'm at the Dadeland Mobile Home Park, which is south of Country Walk, and I'm sorry it took us so long to get to you with this, but we had to really talk our way past the National Guard and the police. They're being very tough out here on security because you can see the devastation out here, and apparently they've had a significant amount of looting through here. Some of the residents are still out here tonight trying to pick up their things, warned us that a lot of the looters are armed, walking through here with loaded weapons, if you can believe that, and picking through people's belongings. This particular mobile home park, we understand at least 4 of the dead so far that were found in this mobile home park, and most of the others were found in one over behind it, which tells you how badly hit it was. Some of the people who have lost all their property are still here tonight. Sir, can I talk to you a minute?
Yeah.
Where's your home? Or where was it?
Well, where was it? It was sitting right there, a double-wide, semi-double-wide.
Can you walk over a bit, show us?
Yeah.
I don't know how far our cable will go, but we'll try and go. I'm all tangled up, but we'll try and get back in there.
My daughter was born, and...
Well, sorry, just a minute, sir. Hold on, Brad. I've got to pull more cable out, and I think it's between your... Sorry, it's around your feet. It's awkward working under these conditions, but sorry. We're looking at the one here with the blue, with the sheeting there.
The blue little bit of aluminum left.
And the nice rattan furniture.
Yeah, just got done fixing everything up, and Mother Nature took everything from us. My daughter was just born there, and...
When was your daughter born?
When she was born last year in October, right there in the home. She broke her water in the trailer, and now we ain't even got a place to go, but thank God that a lot of Red Cross people and a lot of good, kind-hearted people have helped us out through a lot of hard times.
Now, some people were killed in here, weren't they?
Yeah, there was a family of 3 killed in the front that I know of for sure. A mother, a father, and a daughter. And another family of 4. They stayed in the trailer during the storm.
They didn't evacuate?
No. So some people didn't have nowhere to go. They didn't have no families, no relatives. Like, fortunately, we got invited by a friend to go stay in a townhouse. And the townhouse took a beating, but nothing like this. We come back home, and our homes were gone.
What about looters? Have you seen any?
Oh, looters. They're all over this place. Looters are... It was like free-for-all. You know? Everybody, we just had to stick together as much as we possibly could between the people that knew everybody in the park, sticking up for one another, just trying to stop people. But even at night, the cops coming through, the National Guard coming through, trapping people under trailers, trying to stop looters. Because we got a lot of stuff still out here. It might not be much, but it's all we got left. You know,
somebody warned us earlier that they'd seen armed looters. I mean, they were walking around here with weapons.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it because somebody's got my gun out of my trailer. My rifle, my 30-30.
They're actually picking through what's left of your home?
They're going through your drawers. They're going through everything you got. There ain't nothing you got. And there's like a couple of people, ladies here, we try to help everybody out. The ones that are still here, we sticking together. There's a couple people over here. There's a couple people next door here. And everybody knows who's who, and we're keeping an eye out. Now, some of us are armed still.
But it's dangerous back here, isn't it? I mean, people can't appreciate it, but it's pitch black between here. Well, it's pitch black all around here. We lit it up. But all the way down there to, what's the street down there?
152nd.
152nd
Street.
It's pitch black.
Yeah.
You're in total darkness.
That's why when you come to a door and you know it's like one of our friends were coming to say hello, you yell before you get there. Hey, it's John, I'm coming in. You know, everybody's on an edge, man. I mean, if we ain't got a gun, they got a big knife or something. They ain't gonna take this looting problem, but we have a big one. I mean, we ain't got nothing left. I mean,
But they're taking what you don't have left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get to the city of Miami to call them and tell them I've been out of work. First time I've been out of the trailer was today.
Okay, so thanks for helping us out. I'm going to go over and talk to these other folks over here. Now, I should point out to you that as bad as, just like I got to lift cable so we can get over there. As bad as that part looks, I mean, there are sections we'll show you a little later on that are even worse, if you can believe it. And look in here. This is what they say looters are sorting through, going through property like this. You heard the man say they're coming over here and just walking in, going through drawers, if you can believe that, going through drawers, pulling out what little things that these people have got left. Now, we saw this family over here when we pulled up. They were really nervous when we first showed up because we hadn't been able to drag some light from the live truck. And as that man said, everybody here is very apprehensive. And have I got enough cable to make it over to them? How are you guys doing tonight?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, hanging in there and fine. That's that. I tell you, that's that. I find that hard to believe, looking at what's left of your house.
Not a whole lot more you can say about it.
Yeah.
Storm came through and did its job.
Yeah. Now, where were you when the storm came through?
In the rec hall.
In the rec hall over there behind us? Yeah. Were you on your own, or who were you with?
I was with my mom and my 2 dogs under a table.
Yeah. What were the dogs in?
And a pet carrier.
Okay. And you were holding on to them, huh?
Mm-hmm, my mom.
Yeah, I noticed there were some stray animals running around here. I guess other
Yeah.
people didn't save their pets, did they?
No, some people didn't care.
Well, they just left them?
Yeah.
Of course, you know, in fairness to them, I guess, you know, a lot of the shelters wouldn't take the pets, and so if you went to a shelter, they wouldn't let you take it in. But you wouldn't leave your dogs, huh?
No.
No?
No.
Not at all. Huh? What was it like? I bet you never forget that.
No.
Yeah? What was it like under there?
Scary.
What did you hear? What was it like when it came through? What did you hear? What did you
All
see?
sorts of noises, glass breaking.
Well, what about what's left of your home here? How much of it is left?
Really nothing.
Yeah. Have you got a room in here?
Yeah.
Room where you stay? You want to show us that? You have to go slow now because, again, we're going to try and pull some cable back in there. Yeah, Brad, I know. We can't go too far. How far back is your home? Your room, right in there? I think we can make it to there. What's your name, by the way?
My name is Cheryl.
Cheryl? Okay. Whoops. Oh, I guess our camera can't make it any... As far as the camera can make it. Tell you, come on out here a minute, Cheryl, then. And I tell you what, you stand over there. Next to that. Can you see it from where you are now, Brad? Brad's moving his way in here to see if he can get a little closer. You can understand dragging cable through all the rubble is real hard. You think we can make it in there? We got enough cable? Okay. Okay, Brad. Brad's going in. So this was
Derek,
your room.
I think we can still hear you, but I don't think we can see you anymore. I think what we're going to do is let you guys get your cables uncrossed and get back with you in just a little bit.
Okay, all right. We'll stay right here.
Jillian Wari is at our news desk with more. Let's go to her, Jillian.
Well, it is certainly touching when you see what Derek and the rest of the crew is out there facing tonight, and I can only imagine what the families are up against. But it is good news to know that there are people out there willing to help, and the Red Cross is one of them. But a lot of people have been overflowing the Miami chapter, making calls and trying to make donations and basically give any supplies that they can give. They're not being able to get through, so what you may want to try is calling your local Red Cross as opposed to the Miami chapter, and you'll probably have a better chance of getting through. Now, we mentioned earlier a lot of the insurance companies. I went through a list and probably can't go over it enough times simply because it does bear repeating. Many of you out there need an insurance adjuster right now to come in and assess some of the damage. State Farm gave us a very good tip today. They said not only should you call your insurance company, but call your mortgage company, and they may defer your payments because